My story begins with my mother, who began in Kuwait and was displaced following Saddam Hussein's invasion and forced to flee to Canada. Now, in Kuwait, she was a dentist. In Canada, that education was not recognized. So, for me growing up, we didn't have access to a lot of the opportunities we otherwise would. She couldn't find suitable employment for the most part, and we struggled financially. I also had a lot of personal challenges. I had really quite severe asthma where I would have immense difficulty falling asleep. I would be crying because I just couldn't breathe. And also, I had challenges walking due to my congenital short Achilles tendon. I needed surgical repair of my Achilles tendons, and that exacerbated issues quite significantly for me because I already had quite a bit of anxiety around school. I had a lot of other things on my mind, and teachers tended to attribute that to stupidity or inability, as opposed to something transient and something that can be overcome. So having to drop out of elementary school for a year to deal with those health challenges meant that I was no longer completing my education in the traditional sense. My father, uh, who was not in the picture, stopped paying child support. And because we were already so financially strained, that immediately led to food insecurity. At this point, I'm in high school, right? Um, and our income basically halves immediately. And our income wasn't very high to begin with. Um, and so we were making at that point, what, $800 a month? Which is basically nothing when you consider rent and other aspects. And so I had no choice, and I dropped out of school again. Uh, I decided, okay, I'm going to try and find some employment. I got Step to Work, which is a program that provides employment training and opportunities to youth living in subsidized housing. So I got some employment through that program. And I simultaneously started volunteering in my community. And that's really crucial for me. For instance, I volunteered at BC Children's Hospital, and every day I would go through the medical surgical ward and I would see children with far more significant challenges than I felt that I had, who are able to overcome them and able to find hope and resilience. It gave me purpose, hope, and using that experience and also my experience later volunteering at the crisis line, um, I really slowly, day after day after day, started to build confidence, to find my purpose, to find a lot of what I needed to move forward in life. And I'd say that basically brought me to where I am here today, speaking to you. A lot of these challenges are intersectional and they feed into each other. So for me, I did experience poverty. I did live in impoverished communities, and that meant basically a lot of the people around me had their own challenges. And as a result, I experienced attempted sexual assault as a child, bullying, um, and I find that when you experience these things firsthand, you understand that they don't have to define you. Much of what I'm doing right now and that I have done has been informed by my experiences in the hospital, by um, the opportunities that has provided me with. For instance, as a patient advisor, um, I was able to use a lot of that pain and trauma as a force for good as opposed for something that was pushing me down. In doing that advocacy and having experienced a lot of these issues firsthand, I'm better able to say, okay, these were challenges and they did impact me at the time and they were significant. But right now, I am an advocate and I am somebody important in my community and I'm making genuine contributions that are going to help others. And that is essential. My dream is to work internationally with Doctors Without Borders to help people in similar circumstances as my mother, to heal innocents who are harmed in war and to make a genuine difference. for people who don't have proper access to healthcare or to medical supplies and support.
Um,
And something my mentor would often tell me is that it's in giving that you receive. And I'll never stop advocating for people who are marginalized and harmed and dehumanized. If you want to see a change, you need to start by embodying that change in any small way that you can. You're not defined by any given label. You're not defined by an experience. You're defined by who you are in any given day and the choices that you make. And it's those choices that are going to pave the way for the rest of your life and for your future.